Hello and welcome to the Just Talking About Films podcast, where we just talk about films. My name is Ian Sargentson.
And my name's Luke Taylor, and it's great to be with you. We missed a week last week because I was away, so we should have a whole host of films to discuss this week.
Yeah, we do. I have a couple of new films that I've watched, or first time watches for me, and a couple of re-watches as well. But as I said to you just before we started, I've been watching a lot of TV shows recently, and this is not called Just Talking About TV Shows, so I won't talk about them. But I've watched a few films and started watching another one. But yeah, so we'll talk about those.
What about TV series that are film adjacent, like the Star Wars ones? Can we talk about those? They're not films. No, we can't.
No, not going to be strict about that. But I did enjoy the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was really good. But yes, we're not here to talk about that.
It's my favorite Star Wars spin-off as yet.
Yeah, I think it might be. I mean, I like The Mandalorian a lot, but it was more Star Warsy than that. And I thought Ewan McGregor was great in it.
Yeah, I like that continuity. It got better. At first, I mean, we are talking about it now, but at first I was a bit like, Obi-Wan's just wet. But he got good at the end again, so.
Yeah, great. Right, what have you been watching this past few weeks, Ian?
So I finally finished. I did it in about 3 sittings, actually. Finally finished June.
Ooh.
Which I was looking forward to after all your waxing lyrical about it. I think I was disappointed that I didn't watch it in the cinema because aesthetically it was spectacular. And I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it maybe more than I thought I would, because I'd watched the original and I didn't really like the original, although it was a long time ago. I thought it made more sense than I expected it to after hearing a lot of reviews. Or like, it's so confusing, I don't know. So it made more sense than I thought it would. It looked good. It was a bit indulgent in parts with all these flashbacks and prophecies and all that moodiness. But
yeah, I wondered whether it was trying to tee you up for the next one, going, look, this stuff's coming.
Yeah, and the big worm thing, and it's just like, yeah, we get that something bad's going to happen, and he's coming, and there's this thing, and this girl. But overall, I thought it was very good. It was well cast, well acted, kept my engagement. You say it was a lot of. I said to you, I think previously, that I thought it was. It seemed like it just ripped a lot of Star Wars, but you said it was the other way around. It was actually Star Wars that ripped a lot from June. So
yeah, and you can see the similarities quite strongly, can't you?
yeah. So, but yeah, enjoyed it overall. I was frustrated that it's only half the story, because I was expecting some kind of conclusion.
Yeah,
kind of makes me excited for the next part of it.
Yeah, I felt like that when I came out of the cinema watching it. I'd enjoyed it, but I came away thinking that I felt a bit robbed almost of like, well, I've only seen half a film, and there was no guarantee at that point that you were going to be able to see the other half, because if it made no money and this was just out of the pandemic, it wasn't going to happen. But now, as soon as it was like it is going to happen, I felt much better about it.
Yeah, but production hasn't started yet, is it?
No, I think they're just getting cast and things at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. So yeah, but I liked it. I liked the story, was engaging. So I enjoyed that. Then I watched, probably against my better judgment to a degree, I watched Hostel with Adam Sandler.
Oh, right, okay. I watched that as well.
Because Adam Sandler, I like very few of his films. Do you know what I mean? I like some of his early stuff, but a lot of it's just silliness or shouting, like, was it Uncut Gems? I didn't like that. It was just screaming for the whole time. It could have been.
It was a bit much of a film, yeah.
Yeah, I did like Happy Gilmore and a couple of others, Wedding Singer, but others. So it's just like they always flattered to deceive. So I was a bit reluctant, but then people had been said it was a different, very, very, very different role for him, and it was more serious. And so I watched it and thoroughly enjoyed it, really, for what it was. So it's a film about a basketball scout. So he goes trying to recruit players for an NBA team. He looks around the world, and then he's always wanted this coaching job, and it's promised to him. And then there's different family dynamics and different things happen. That bit of conflict and stuff and tension. But he finds this superstar, and people aren't really convinced that he's found something special, but he is. So then he has to make a decision what he's going to do with that. So yeah, so I liked it. It's a bit like an underdog story. I think it's Adam Sandler's best performance for me. It's a bit of an underdog story. It's sporting. It's one of the better films that I've seen them, sports films. It's the best at the sports action looks genuine. Some of that's because they've got a lot of professional players. It wasn't actors trying to play basketball. It was basketball players trying to act, which came across a bit the other way when they were trying to act. But when they were playing basketball, it was really good. And the guy who plays the main role, I think he does both particularly well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Satisfying conclusion. It wasn't as obvious as you would expect. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. It was one of the ones that surprised me. I enjoyed this considerably more than I expected to when I started it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it as well during this time, and I agree. I think
you did.
Agree. I mean, again, I'm the same with Adam Sandler. You know, I'm not massively into him. Some of his films I quite like. Got a bit of a soft spot for like The Wedding Singer, but generally it's a bit like, oh, an Adam Sandler film. But he should do more stuff like this. This is good.
Absolutely,
he is good in it. I mean, he is actually when he's putting this work in, is a good serious actor.
Yeah, I think for me it was career best. I thought he did really well, and it wasn't like, oh, it's good for Adam Sandler. I thought it was a good performance from anyone. And I think he played it well. He inhabited the brokenness and the determination. So I didn't realize you'd seen it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have waffled on for that long. But
it was one of the. I thought it was going to be obvious where it goes, and there's certain amounts of things you can guess. But actually, the way that you got to that point was a little different than I expected as well. And knowing nothing about it before I started watching it, I didn't even know it was about basketball to start with before I started watching it.
Well, I just thought it was about the scouting thing. I thought it might be good. But the end scene, I particularly like, because that was a surprise for me. I was going, oh, it could have just went really cliche.
I liked that. And it was a nice way of ending and going, you know, that life works out a little different than you expect sometimes. And but at the same time, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like the last little bit at the very end where he's still playing the you know, he's still being a bit of a hustler. And it's it was a good film. Really, really recommend it as well.
I say I loved it. I liked the bit I thought was a bit cliche was when he got his big break and then it was taken away. It was like, come on, but because we've seen it before. But it then released an opening. It was a big Game of Thronesy for me. It released an opening to someone who was less nice. So yeah, but I liked it. I thought it was well cast. So yeah, it was. Yeah, pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. What else have you been watching?
And I've rewatched two quite different films, both really good in their own standing. First was The Truman Show, so I rewatched that. I think it's because we discussed it the other week, I think. And just when we talking about Jim Carrey, actually, in a similar way to Adam Sandler, there's some of his films, most of his films just irritate me, but I'd said this was one of the ones that I really like, and I watched it again, and it's just a really clever film. Really pulls up, you know, ethical issues inside of me and different things. And there's many times still now because of that film when I think that's that person. I'm sure I've seen him before. Am I in the Truman Show? I was saying it to Kate after I watched it, and then she said something. I was like, "Good morning," and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night. She was like, "Come on."
That's because you live in a village. There's only a couple of people there.
But it's like, isn't that the person who works? You know what I mean? Just thinking, seeing people at the same time every day. But so I really enjoyed that. It's one of my favorite.
It's a very good film.
Carrey films. It was just something different, and there's been not a lot like it since. There's been other films that kind of hint at the same thing, but not done in the same way. And then Misery. So I watched Misery.
Oh, Misery.
Which is a dark film, and I'd seen it a long time ago and remember being particularly not scared, but like shocked by it. But the tension in it is just unbelievable. You know, the tension that it brings and the horror of just like, but then it talks of the human condition in a massively powerful way. Really.
It's based on a Stephen King story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's the famous scene with the hammer and stuff. It's just all quite tense throughout. Yeah, loved it. It's a great piece of filmmaking in terms of tension. So yeah, I rewatched that. So yeah, I've had a good month. I liked all of them since we last met. And I started watching Spiderhead, which I'm halfway through. It's a bit disturbing because it has ethical questions, but it's just a bit, don't know, it doesn't need all of this, indulgence. If you watch it, you'll see. So it's about, have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, yeah. I don't
It's
know
about
much about it.
A futuristic prison system where they use the prisoners to test different kinds of medication that can alter moods and feelings. So I'm halfway through, and I think the premise is good. There's a lot of good stuff about it, but there's some bits where it's just like, have you just threw this in to be, like, so whether it's sex scenes or whatever, it's just gratuitous sex or violence. It's just like, is that necessary to go that far? But we'll see when I've finished it. But yeah, the 4 films that I have finished, really, really good.
Good. Well, I've seen a few over these past few weeks. Some new and again some rewatches as well.
Good.
I'll start with Jurassic World Dominion.
Okay.
What? I mean, I apologize to you. I was the one who had hope, and you said it was going to be rubbish.
Yeah, it looked rubbish. They've got progressively worse. Yeah. And I was like, I saw the trailer and I was like, they've not learned any lessons. It's just more of the same nonsense. Where it's one of them things, rather than the first one where it was like a story for me. The first one was the threat level, is the fact that dinosaurs are in this place and humans. Now it's just gone beyond that. It's like super dinosaurs with
it doesn't, yeah, and plus the dinosaurs don't feel like the threat they were. They don't feel like the amazing. It's a film that just seems to have no joy in it whatsoever. And I remember the end of the last one was a Fallen Kingdom. The last sequence in there where it showed dinosaurs in the world, and thinking, I want to watch that film. And I still want to watch that film because I still haven't seen that. They set up this whole concept of dinosaurs in the world. You have one okay sequence in, I think, Milan, where there's dinosaurs running about the city. And then they go to an undisclosed location, which is the base of this, evil organization kind of thing, which might as well have been on an island. It's just they completely squander the great potential that they set up in the last one. And they go, yeah, they're all in the world. You're not going to get to see that. We're going to go do something else. Just a waste of time, a good cast, but just nobody's used well. There's a new character in it that might as well, I can't remember the name of the character, it might as well have been named Captain, you'll love this character, honestly. I mean, it seemed the whole character was just set up to be, you're gonna love this, you're gonna think this character is amazing, and every line just felt aimed to make you think that, and just like, oh please. So I came away you shouldn't be bored during a Jurassic Park film, and I was bored.
Well, I mean, you say that, and maybe we're different, but I've been bored in pretty much all of them since the first one. Progressively, but yeah, it's just like they had the first one, great idea, and they knew that they had to do something else. But I just would have loved to have been in them pitch meetings because they have no idea whatsoever. It's like, we don't need a plot, we don't need a storyline, we don't need all the things that made the first one so successful. We'll just ignore that and just put dinosaurs in it and everyone will love it.
It seems to be that the whole thing's being made with the idea, if we show you some dinosaurs and put the old cast and have some callbacks, you'll be happy, and we won't have to try very hard to make this good. And it doesn't. It goes, oh, we'll do a couple of callbacks. We'll do a recall to this line here. We'll do a recall to this thing that you like about the first one. And it's like, that's not a film.
No.
Colin Trevorrow, who did the first of these 3 new ones, was hired to do the new Star Wars film and then fired from it. Because he made another film which was really, didn't do well at all. Should not. I mean, I don't know why they brought him. I do not know why they brought him back. It was terrible, terrible film.
I hate to say I told you so, but I
I
did.
know. I should have believed you, but never mind. Never mind. And then I did another new film, which was The Matrix Resurrections. I hadn't seen that. I missed it at the cinema. I have to admit, I got to the end of it and I thought, I might have to watch that again because I don't understand a thing that happened.
Well,
I couldn't tell
I
you the
haven't
plot.
watched it either. I haven't watched it either, and this is where I've changed because do you know what I mean? And it's not great for someone who hosts to just talking about film podcast. But now, if it used to be that I didn't even care about reviews, didn't listen to them, whereas now I gauge on pretty early whether I want to watch something, and it's difficult for me to want to watch something if the reviews are that bad, which they were for Matrix Resurrections. There was just no buzz around it whatsoever. It was all criticism. So then I'm going, I don't really want to watch that. So I'd choose other things to watch ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, it came on Sky and I thought, I'm going to give it a try because, I like the first one. Don't like the other two, but it just, I did not understand what was happening. I didn't understand the stakes. I didn't understand what anybody was doing. I didn't understand the motivation behind anything. And the action wasn't that good. So
great.
I just got to the end and thought, why did I bother? And it's trying to say big statements about the world and reality and all that kind of thing. It just gets lost, and it just I couldn't even tell you what point it was trying to make. I got to the end and I honestly thought, I wonder if I'd fallen asleep for some of it. I didn't, but nothing connected. Maybe I did. If I did fall asleep for some of it, it must have been really, really long. Because it felt long enough watching it. If you want to be a completist, watch it, but otherwise I really wouldn't bother.
Rocky start, that week.
Yeah. Then I watched a film which I'd seen years ago but hadn't seen for a very long time, called Vantage Point. Have you seen Vantage Point?
It rings a bell.
It had it's Forrest Whitaker's in it. The guy who was in Lost, the Jack out of Lost, he was in it.
All right, yeah.
And it's like a presidential assassination in Spain. Someone assassinates the American president, and then it shows you the same events, like the same 15
from a
minutes
different camera, has a camcorder, doesn't he?
Yeah, different points of view, and so you follow a different character each time.
Yeah.
Each time you follow another character, you get a bigger sense of what's going on in the story.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it. I watched it at the cinema. I remember really enjoying it. I don't think I've seen or heard of it since. So.
No, it's funny. I've completely forgotten it existed, but it's clever the way it builds the depth of what's going on, and it's easy to follow what's going on with each bit as well. You don't find yourself confused. You find yourself wondering who this person is, but later you'll find out who this person is, and it builds through the different levels really, really good. I don't know if it was a particularly satisfying conclusion, but I thought it was a good ride on the way. So yeah, would recommend that. Then I watched Lightyear. Yes. Well, Lightyear starts with a little title card, just so you understand what this film is. There's in 1995, Andy saw a film which Andy asked for a toy of Buzz Lightyear because of his favorite film. This is that film. So this is the film little Andy watched, and it was his favorite film that made him.
So it's about a film.
It's a film that exists within the world of Toy Story.
Right. But this is Andy's favorite film.
This is Andy's favorite.
So everything that happens is a film that he's watching.
Yes. And all I conclude is that Andy has got terrible taste in films.
Could have got him on a podcast.
I mean, he needs to spend less time playing with his toys and more time watching good films, because it's just you spend the whole time. I mean, it does callbacks to Toy Story, and you kind of like a little bit. Well, of course it would do, because a toy does that. Yeah. But at the same time, it just felt all so inconsequential, and just all kind of like. It's hard to describe. It wasn't disappointing because I didn't have high hopes for it, but it was just, you spent the whole time just. It's a film that just happens in front of you, It's like if you were sitting on a park bench and a plastic bag was blown past you, you'd watch it until it's gone. It was like that. You know,
And
it
it's not
existed
even
and then it stopped.
It's not even Tim Allen, is it?
No, it's Chris Evans instead, which doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Okay, I get the idea. Chris Evans is more of a serious actor. Tim Allen does the comedic thing. But if you were to create a toy based on this movie, you'd use the same voice.
Of course. It's
So
not like you need him to be actor. It's his voice.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. And then there's kind of like, am I watching something that's a cartoon that he would have liked, or am I? And then you just can't get that whole thing of this has been a film that exists in Toy Story out your head the whole time while watching. And as a result, it doesn't feel like a real film. It doesn't feel like you're watching a real film. And it just nothing in it makes you feel like this is a film that deserves to exist outside of the context of it existing in Toy Story.
Yeah.
I
mean, they tried something new and it didn't work by the sounds of it.
No, yeah. Not as bad as Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, in Jurassic World Dominion, I had to lean over to Amelia at one point and said, I don't think this film's ever going to end. At least Lightyear was kind of short. And then the other film I watched was a rewatch, a film I haven't again seen in absolutely donkey's years, and that was Willow.
Willow.
Because there's a TV series coming out, and I thought, you know
what?
I'm going to rewatch Willow. And I never remember Willow being very good, and it isn't, but it's kind of fun at the same time. It's clunky. You look back at some of these old, fantasy action films from the 80s, and it is a little bit like, we're definitely better at making them now. But it did have a sense of fun that's missing from a lot of, I mean, like, for example, it's got a sense of fun that Jurassic World Dominion wishes it had. So even though you're watching it going, yeah, I can see why this isn't very good, at the same time, you're having a good time. And again, I think it comes down to Ron Howard on that one. I don't think Ron Howard's got it. Every Ron Howard I've seen, what was the one we talked about before? Rush. That was the other one, wasn't it? Every Ron Howard film I've ever seen, I've watched and thought, it's okay. Would have been better if somebody else made it.
Yeah, you think that. I say I loved Rush. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you're going, he's done an okay job, but I'm sure somebody else could have done better. Feels like a second best. Like you couldn't get the person you wanted, so you get Ron Howard.
Well, we'll see next week when he's on the podcast. His book's good though. I enjoyed his book as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed it anyway. It's fun. If nothing else, it's fun in a nostalgic way.
Yeah, it's one of them ones that I remember, but I wasn't too much into it as a kid. So in my head now, it already is dated. So I imagine that's the case. But you scored Lightyear 2 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
So you said that it was better than Jurassic World. So Jurassic World was less than 2 out of 5.
Well, Jurassic World was 1.
1 out of 5.
I had to.
Right. Yeah. The reason I ask is we don't normally mark ours, but we asked yesterday on the Facebook page and the Twitter people to rate the last film they saw out of 5. So I think Simon came on, so he doesn't rate films out of 5. But then he gave Black Phone a rating of 3.5 out of 5.
Looks interesting.
Yeah. Then Corny watched Maverick for the second time and he gave it 4.95.
4.95.
Yeah. So 4.95. There's something that's not perfect. Then I ranked Hustle at 3.75, so it would be 7.5 out of 10. Ali Campbell talked about Just Mercy, which he gave 4.5 out of 5, which I enjoyed that film. And then you scored Lightyear 2 out of 5. So that's what we've been watching. That's what some of the people have said. So let us know what you've been watching and what you would rate them out of 5 if you wish to. Sorry if you've been really looking forward to watching Jurassic World or Lightyear, but you may have a different opinion to Luke. You may really like.
It'd be good to know if anybody does enjoy those. Yeah.
I've got a friend Andy who really loves Jurassic Park, all of them. So I'll be interested to see what he thinks of it. So Andy, if you're listening to this or watching this, I'd love to know what you think of Jurassic World. So,
yeah,
very good.
Because I think I thought I liked Jurassic Park films. I'm questioning everything now.
I like one Jurassic Park film.
I think I might, yeah. Yeah, I think that's where. Well, I kind of like Jurassic World-ish. You know, it's fun. So I think maybe I like two of them, but only two of them.
Well, I don't know. As I say, for me, it was the first one was so good. Just keep that format. You don't have to make the threat level anymore. The massive dinosaurs. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
just
and they
lose
can
a
say,
couple.
"Oh, we're trying to make a statement about film." You know how films have to be scarier than they used to be, and people aren't scared by it. So stop trying to make a statement about that, and just make something that's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't make you wish you were somewhere else while you were watching it.
Yeah, but
that would do.
Don't just lose a few dinosaurs. You don't have to make them all super and then make a man have a relationship. The same thing that went wrong with Jaws, the threat in Jaws, the tension, everything. You just lost it with the subsequent films. It was like
it was this time. It's
don't
personal.
need to make this shark any more dangerous. So it's like, anyway, they just lost the format. Even though, like with Jurassic Park 2, is it Jurassic Park 2? What's it called?
Lost World.
Yeah, Lost World, and the same with Jaws 2. It's largely the same cast and the same formula, same directors, but just wasn't the same.
Anyhow.
Okay, so yeah, let us know what you think about any of those films that we discussed. If you have a different opinion, if the same opinion, anything you'd like clearing up. Now we've got some more gut reactions, which I've got from people this week. I've been told to keep one separate because it would be a long answer. So I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I don't know what I mean. So I'll do that one last. So I made a little mark on it. I've still not seen it, but I made a mark on it and we'll see.
I find these gut reactions.
Right, so are you ready for these?
Clear my mind. Just
clear your mind of everything. What you think about everything. Let's get these in. So the first one, gut reaction. Luke, your gut reaction to which film opinion will cause you to lose respect for every other view that person holds? I didn't even say where the question's from. I don't know who's writing that is either. What film opinion will cause you to lose respect for every other single view that person holds?
Someone who likes Lightyear. No, dear me. Oh, I know. Somebody who thought that The Greatest Showman was good.
Someone that thought The Greatest Showman was good. That's a lot of people. A lot of people thought that was a good film.
I have no respect for any of them.
So you lose respect for any of the view they hold if they thought The Greatest Showman was good. Okay. For me, I can't think of anything. I'm no gut reaction. Come on, I need to think of something. What's my gut reaction? What view is really like stupid? I guess if the only thing I think of is if you like the film Joy.
Wow, that's left field.
Yeah, but it was one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Is that the one with the
I think
supermodel?
if someone really rates that film, I'm like, I don't care about any of you having anything.
Is that the one where she invents the super mop or something?
Well, she's a computer program or something. It just develops and goes weird. And am I thinking about the wrong film?
I'm thinking about a different film.
What are you thinking of?
Joy is the one with what's she called?
Maybe it's not even Joy. Maybe it's
Jennifer Lawrence, where she invents the super mop.
The super mop.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I might have to edit this because
Joy. Hold on. Films.
Oh yeah, that is that film. So what film am I thinking of?
I don't know.
It's the theme, not Joy.
So you don't lose respect for people who like
No,
Joy.
if you like Joy, I don't know because I haven't seen it.
I mean, it's not great, but So what are you thinking of? Are you thinking of Simone?
No, it's a one-word film. But I can't use that. I'll have to find out what it is. Lucy, that was what it is. The film Lucy. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've got my Lucy and my Joy mixed up. It just came to my head there.
Oh,
Lucy.
that's the one with Scarlett Johansson, isn't it?
It's where she becomes she's some computer program or something. She just develops into some big nonsensical thing.
Yeah, and you get the end of it and you go, "What have I just seen?"
Yeah, it was just it started off. Oh, this is interesting. And just got progressively worse. So much so that my mind has suppressed it to not even remember what it was called. Lucy. I was watching it in the cinema, and I never walked out of anything, but that was close. Like,
Yeah,
this is horrendous.
yeah.
So sorry for everyone who likes Joy. I rate your opinion, especially if it's about someone who sells mops.
Not Joy.
No,
Yeah,
Lucy.
yeah.
If you like
You're okay
Lucy,
with Joy.
yeah. If you like Lucy, I don't care about what you think about anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Next one. The greatest acting performance I have ever seen is.
Oh, dear me.
Tough ones today.
Yeah.
I would say Leonardo DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
That's very good.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. That's the first one that comes to mind. Now, if I have longer to think, I'll probably think of other things.
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
the first one that comes to mind mightn't be the right answer, might it? I mean, yeah.
A couple of Daniel Day-Lewis ones, but that was the first one that came to my mind. So.
First one that came to me was Billy Bob Thornton in what's that film called? A Simple Plan.
Joy.
No, in A Simple Plan, mainly because it's such a good performance. It's like he's not Billy Bob Thornton in that film. It just he's just disappears, and I think that's a great. That was the one that initially came to mind. Yeah, I think it's probably because I've seen it recently. So it's like it's a fresh, good performance in my head, and I've only seen it for the first time recently. So there's probably better out there. I'm sure there's better out there, but that's just one way I was watching it going, that is not Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
Good stuff. So what about you? If you're watching and listening, what's the greatest acting performance that you've seen? Gut reaction.
Very disappointed with your answer, don't you?
Say what?
You end up very disappointed with your answer.
Well, yes and no. I mean, mine was solid. It's one of my favourites, but as I think about it, there'll be another one I go, oh, that probably is. But my gut reaction was DiCaprio and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I remember marveling at.
Yeah, Al Pacino in The Godfather. He does some
tremendous
stuff in that film.
No, there's a lot of good performances in The Godfather.
Yeah. That bit, that scene in the restaurant, though, where he's making that decision about what he's going to do, and everything's just in his eye. Oh man, incredible! Saw that on the big screen for the first time recently, and that scene when you can really look into his eyes while he's making that decision, it's amazing. Can I change my answer?
Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. He was good in that.
Yeah,
he was good in Gangs of New York as well. Well, I went with what I went with.
Yeah.
Right. What's your favourite movie car? I think it's car and not cat, but we'll go with car. There's only one.
Yeah.
DeLorean.
That's a good answer.
I can't think of any other one. Herbie.
I'm
glad I said the DeLorean before I said Herbie.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. DeLorean's a very good answer. I mean, I went just basic to the Batmobile, I think.
Yeah, I think.
But I can't. Yeah. Although the first car that actually popped up in my mind was Mad Max's car, but that's
Yeah, there's a few in. I didn't realize. Yeah, so I just went to DeLorean. I couldn't think of any other cars, but James Bond's drove a few, like the white one that I had a toy of as a kid that became a boat.
That was a good car.
And a few good Aston Martins, the Ferrari and Ferris Bueller. There's a few Drive, but I'll stick with the DeLorean. Not only is it just a car, it's a time machine.
John Wick's car.
John Wick's car's very good, yeah. But I'm going with the DeLorean.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Batmobile. Yeah. Which one? I couldn't say. Probably Michael Keaton's first one.
Michael Keaton. Very good. Right. Thank you for whoever that was. It doesn't say. Which film would you love to recast?
Oh, man. That's different. Not remake.
No, recast.
But recast. Oh.
My first thought was Jack Reacher. I've never been so furious with a bit of casting in my whole life as Tom Cruise casting himself as some 6'4" giant, and he's like 5'3" or something, just because he had the rights to it. Never been that upset, and it's not a film I care that much about. And besides the fact that it says Jack Reacher on it, it's not a bad film. But yeah, I was furious about that casting. So I would do that, even though I could probably use my time to change the whole feel of a film and make some film better. But I will go with Jack Reacher.
That's fair. That's a good answer. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have a think on that one. I'll put something on Twitter when I can finally come up with an answer.
This is the one we've been warned that the answer might be long. Don't know what that can be. For a gut reaction. Oh, how can I have a gut reaction to this? 5 dinner party guests from the movies. Go.
5 dinner party guests from the,
if you're having a dinner party, you can invite 5
characters from films.
Yeah, who are you inviting?
Okay. I would invite. Oh, dear me.
I've got one.
Okay.
But it's not only just thinking of the 5 names. It's thinking how the dynamic works together. Or am I overthinking this?
Well, that's important.
Like, the conversation has to flow.
You want people from a variety of genres in that case, really. And you want people going to talk. Like, for example, you don't want Jack Reacher because Jack Reacher says nothing quite often.
Yeah.
You want people who are going to have good stories to tell.
I need a list of...
I'm going to have to write these down. How many have we got? 5.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of my working out. I'm like, Sarah Connor, it'd be a bit intense.
You just eat rations.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got 5.
I've got 3. Let me just wait for 2 more. No, I can't have them. That'd be rubbish. Trying to figure the dynamic of my guests now. You start telling me yours. I might get some inspiration.
Right. Okay. We're back. You'll notice we've edited this down a bit because we spent a long time thinking about it. Because there's a lot to consider when you do this. This can't work as a gut reaction quite the same way. You've got to think about the dynamic of who's going to talk with who's going to get the conversation going, how the night's going to go. So do you want to hear my list?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay, number 1, Truman Burbank.
Truman Burbank, yeah.
He'd be fun, and he's new to a lot of things. I think he'd be interested to know what's going on with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got the sense he was a nice person to be around. So Truman Burbank, number 1. And number 2 is Bruce Wayne.
I've got Bruce Wayne on mine, yeah.
He might pick up the bill, and he's not going to stay late. He's got other things on tonight. He's got especially he's not going to be one of those guests who's still there at like midnight. So Bruce Wayne's a good one. Then Adeline from The Age of Adeline.
Okay.
She lives a lot of years. She must have plenty of good stories about stuff. Has a good knowledge of things. So I think she'd keep the conversation going. And then I picked 2 people who were going to come together, and that's Max and Annie from Game Night. Because I think they'd help the night, go with a real swing.
Max and Annie from Game Night. Yeah.
I think after dinner they'd get some games going, and it'd be a good night. And plus, I really like that film.
Yeah. So I've got Bruce Wayne. He was the first one. I think it'd be cool, especially if you knew who he was.
Yes. We understand. You've got to go.
Yeah. Then I've got Forrest Gump because his
He'd have
stories are
good
brilliant.
stories. He wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to tell them very well. That's the problem.
No, but I'd be fascinated. And I ran Ellen Ripley.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, she might be a little traumatized still, but
She might be, because I thought Sarah Connor initially, but it'd be intense. She was worried all the time.
she'd keep telling us we're all going to die.
Yeah, but Ellen, you know, if it all went down, she can handle herself. You know, so Princess Leia.
Someone is at the front door.
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia.
Oh, right. Okay. Princess Leia. I was trying to think who that was.
Princess Leia. So it'd be always good to have, you know, Skywalker around.
Well, she did pop into mind for me. Yeah. The only thing is you know, she is quite focused.
Yeah, she is, but I think she can mix it at a proper dinner party, knowing she's royalty.
True, she'll probably have good social graces, going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be sourcing any of your food from an Empire, you know, source.
Yeah, I just think she'd be good. She's got some conversations, you know what I mean, and then
also, if you ask her to pass the salt, she might, you know, sort of levitate it towards
yeah,
it, which would be good.
Use the Force. And then I'm stuck with my last one. I had Doc Brown, but he's a bit eccentric.
He is. That is true. That is true. But you know what? He'd be fun. I bet he's got a tale or two to tell.
Yeah, but he's just a bit wacky in, and there's Marty. But yeah, not sure he'd be any good at dinner really. So I just need one more. Films. What films do I like?
Difficult, isn't it?
It is difficult. So I mean, I might just go with a 4.
Yeah, go with the 4. It was a bit more intimate.
Yeah, 4 of us. We don't need an extra one. We're not conventional.
Yeah. I tell you what we'll do. We'll stick these up on Twitter as well. And if anyone's got an idea for that 5th person for your party, that would mix with those people you've chosen.
Yeah. So who'd go well with in a dinner party with Bruce Wayne, Forrest Gump, Ellen Ripley, and Princess Leia? Maybe, I mean, we could just throw in the Joker just for fun. But yeah, who would mix with that? And answer yours. So if you could have 5 people, 5 movie characters to your house for dinner, who are you having?
Yeah, that's fun. I enjoyed that. It was hard. It's hard to do a gut reaction to that one.
It is hard to do a gut reaction. That's not really a gut reaction thing. That's a whole episode thing. Really.
I'm happy with my dinner party though. I think we're gonna have a good night.
Yeah, I was trying to think of chefs, or cool people.
You can't invite a chef to come and cook. That's rude.
Why?
They'll criticize your food.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
The rat from Ratatouille.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone who could come. Maybe Elvis. Someone who could come and do some like entertainment afterwards. But yeah, let me know. I'll think of the 5th one. But let me know what you think, and I'll put something on social media. So thanks for the people who answered those questions. I don't know who. Well, I know who they were, but I don't know which question came from which people. But thank you for that. Most of the people I get the questions off don't listen to the podcast, even though I keep telling them to. So
there were some good questions there. Yes, feel free to send some questions in. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll keep those as gut reactions as well. Ian will print them out and not look at them.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes wish I'd look at them with the better answers. But so I'll put the questions. We'll put the questions up on social media as well, and you can answer them for yourself as well. So we'll do that after this episode's aired.
Yeah.
It'll probably take a week for Luke to edit that bit of us going, what? Who are we inviting to the dinner party? Okay, so yeah, that was good. Anything you're looking forward to this week, Luke?
What's coming out? Oh, we're going to go see the Elvis film, I think, over the weekend. So looking forward to that.
Well, the Elvis film's coming out. I think the new Thor film's coming out soon, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah. That's good. So, some good stuff coming out.
Very good. Well, it's been fun. Enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah, and we shall see you all next time. And get in touch with us. Let us know if there's anything that you want us to focus on as well.
Yeah. All right. Speak to you soon.